Hi everyone. Now, I hope that you're all keeping well, and I hope that throughout the festive season and into the new year, your interest and passion for the history of art has continued to stimulate your creativity and show you ways that the history of art and traditional Western art and culture can actually nurture and bring out more of your artistic potential and cultivate more of your vision. Now, what we have here in this video is the last free class that I put on just before Christmas. Those of you who have been taking part since last March know that we've been doing the Drawing from History workshops every week, and that we've been coming together and drawing together as a community which is much larger than it was previously. And what we've got is our last session, which is a portrait session, not a drawing from history session, but a portrait online session with Kit Hillier, and he's the wonderful model who's a good friend of the project, good friend of the Renaissance Workshop, and a good friend of all of us. And his first appearance online with us was as a Roman back in June, I think it was, and then he returned in September as a barbarian, and then again in December as Kit the Medici. And so what we have is that last session, that last Tuesday session recorded, and my good friend Theo, who's also a member of our community, has edited that video so that none of that it's only me and Kit who actually appear. You can hear a few of the you can hear some of the banter, especially the obvious culprits, Diana, and you can so you can just take part in this whenever you want to. It's gonna remain permanently on YouTube, and you can revisit it and draw from it whenever you want. And what Theo's also done is he's introduced some images that are relevant to what I was saying at the time. So it was recorded in a very organic way, and then Theo has taken the recording and added in some relevant reference material that correspond to what we were saying and what I was talking about. Okay, so within the class, you've got some technical ideas that I share, and obviously there are poses that you can draw from live. So we've got a live model. Remember, you can pause it, you can rewind it, you can. This is a drawing resource which is free for you and for anyone, and so yeah, enjoy. You're going to have let me just see the poses. There are 3 5-minute poses. There's a 10-minute pose, then a 20-minute pose, then there's a break, and then it skips to the final 2 poses, and the final 2 poses are 2 30-minute poses. There's also some music in the second hour. I think we've got some Led Zeppelin, we've got some John Dowland, and we've got some of the Twinkle Brothers, so a nice little mix, okay? And so yeah, enjoy this, and I really look forward to seeing you next Tuesday when we get back to the free classes on Tuesdays. It's going to be, again, we're just going to get back to it as we were. And the class remains free, of course, and everybody's welcome on a Tuesday on Zoom. Those of you who have not taken part so far and would like to go onto the renaissanceworkshop.com or find the Instagram. It's at the Renaissance Workshop on Instagram. You can get in touch very easily with me, and I'd be more than happy to keep the door open for you and anyone else to take part in the free classes. Okay, so the next thing you're going to see is Kit. You're going to and me and Kit talking before the class. There's some funny bits. There's also some swearing. I think we say shit once or twice, and but nothing too extreme. Okay, so have fun and enjoy and draw, and I'll see you again very soon. You all know me, I'm John, and if you haven't attended with the classes, then I hope you do soon. Okay, all the best, and yeah, see you soon. All the best.
I'm trying to put this vase up so it looks real, but I'm not sure it does.
Don't worry about it, just leave it. Don't worry about it at all. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to put the welcome screen up now. I'm going to put the welcome screen up, and then everybody's going to join.
The Renaissance Workshop.
That's right, Kit. Yeah.
Fronted by John. You need a nice American voiceover.
Well, maybe you can do it for me. Everybody's here
Yeah,
now,
of course
Kit.
I can. I can do one. I can do a pretty educated American voice, and I can do it like it kind of sounds pretty real, you know.
Very good, Kit. That's fantastic. And everybody's
John. You have to
You admire my Australian accent.
Jonathan Long. He's got a wonderful website called the Renaissance Workshop, and I want you to know that. And I want you to sign up because it's a pretty goddamn site, you know.
Kit, you know I've let everyone in now, don't you?
Right. Okay.
So I'll let people join in the coming minutes, and it's a very special session because we've got a very good friend of the Renaissance Workshop back once again, Mr. Kit Hillier, one of our favourite models. And today is the last class that we're going to have on a Tuesday evening before we break up for Christmas. And so today's going to be a very light-hearted and relaxed portrait drawing session with our wonderful model, Kit. Let's say hello to Kit, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Kit.
And Kit is a Medici.
Medici. I talk Italian. I try, but I'm not very good. I try, though.
Very good, Kit. Thank you so much. And, you know, it was back in June we did our first... What was it? It was June we did Kit the Roman. And then we did the Barbarian last month, or September, wasn't it, Kit? And now Kit has returned, manifested as a Medici, and his attire is inspired by Cosimo de' Medici in the portrait by Jacopo Pontormo. But he is not Cosimo, he's Kit the Medici, and he's going to be not only modelling, but he's also going to be providing some light-hearted frivolity and entertainment.
Oh.
You look rather serious at the moment, Kit.
Well, I'm a businessman. This character is a merchant, so he's not into smiling. He's a serious man.
Well,
he collects all his money in this. He collects all his money in this little pot. This is my little bank.
It's your little Medici bank.
Where I put all my whatever the Italian currency is, lira. I put all the lira in here.
Back then, it would have been ducats.
Ducats, of course.
Florins. Florins.
Of course, ducats, yeah. Ducats.
And florins, yeah.
Well, he is a bit of a ducat and diver anyway. But...
very good.
Oh
my
Sorry
word.
about that. It wasn't that funny, but we do our best. We do our best.
And yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight. And we're going to draw. Maybe we'll start off with a 10-minute pose, and then maybe some shorter poses. And then maybe after the break, we'll have 2:30s or something like that. Okay, but this is your time to have some fun and to draw in a nice, relaxing, chilled out environment. Okay, so without any further ado, I'll hand over to Kit the Medici. Here you go, Kit. So, is this our first 5-minute pose?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to set our timer for 5 minutes. There we go. 5 minutes, everybody. Get sketching. No pressure. This is for you to draw and have some fun. You look very penitent for a Medici.
I'm praying for forgiveness.
For usury.
Yes, that's precisely why I'm praying for forgiveness.
Very good. Very in character, Kit. Kit the Medici. It's a great expression there, Kit. So we're halfway through our first pose. You might want to do your quick 5-minute poses all on one page. They don't have to be very big. Sometimes it's harder. If you're doing just a quick sketch, sometimes it's easier to draw small. But really, they're there to warm you up. They're not really there. You don't really need to worry so much about the end result. It's more about getting your hand nice and loose. So think about just building up a kind of momentum in your approach rather than making a good result. You know, if you focus on opening up the possibility for a good technique without restraint, without hesitation, you end up getting better results. And it's because you're not focusing on the results. If you're focusing on the result too much, it can often actually stifle your process. And don't forget that it's actually the process that gets you the results. So focus on the process more and get that hand nice and loose and fluid. Get your strokes to kind of easily come off your line of your strokes to easily come off your hand onto the paper. So just a minute left now. Thank you very much, Kit. That was wonderful.
Okay. So I was thinking of using the pot because he's counting his if he's a usurer, he's counting his ducats.
His florins, his lovely gold florins.
Florins, yeah. So he's looking into his pot.
Very nice. There you go, Kit. All right, 5 minutes then. 5 minutes, everybody. Let's go. Warming up still. Chilling out. Make sure you don't draw the nose too hard. That even though there's a kind of important kind of shape to his nose, you don't want to have the outline running down the ridge of the nose very, very defined, because if you look at the highlight on his nose, it's not really a dark line that you want to represent that, nor is it a dark line that you want to have on the outside of the nostrils. The places where you want to have a hard mark would be where the brow transitions to the nose, And then at the base of the nose, around the dark areas, just at the center of the base of the nose, which leads into the philtrum. It's a good indicator of where the center of the face is, so you can accent that. But you don't want to have too many hard lines around the structure of the nose in general, because it will flatten what is in fact something which protrudes outwards. So ironically, you want to have as few hard lines around the nose as possible. And whenever you look at any of the good old masters, if you look at any of the good old master drawings, you'll see that they are very, very subtle in how they analyze the structure of the nose. And it's fun. It's amazing how much volume old master drawings have with such subtlety. Just 1 minute and a half left now. With Kit, the Medici's second pose. How much money you got in there, Kit?
3 ducats.
3 ducats. Not been a good year then, has it? $3. Last few seconds. And then after this, we'll do one more 5-minute pose. Brilliant. Kit, thank you very much.
Now, I was thinking he's a merchant, so he's dealing with tradespeople, and they're tough, you know. He doesn't mess around, so he's getting very expressive. And the Italians use their hands a lot, don't they? So I was thinking something like this: "Hey, hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know, that sort of thing. Where, hey, you give me your business, yeah, yeah.
Very good. Very well. That's good. Keep your hands there.
Mm-hmm.
But don't let your fingers cover your face. We can't.
No.
Do look at the. Can you see yourself, Kit?
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks very much, Kit. Brilliant. Fantastic. It's really perfect timing to have Kit with your humour for Christmas special. Kit the Medici. do strongly encourage all of you to feel that you can experiment in your drawing. You don't need to follow any certain scheme or system in your drawing. This is time for you to maybe do something you haven't tried before, or you're not obliged to draw in any kind of style. You're not obliged to stick to any set of rules. This is just time for you to think about, maybe whatever you feel like doing in your drawing. So we're halfway into the pose now. We've got 2.5 minutes left exactly. You're making me feel like I'm in 15th century Florence, Kit.
Mm.
Just 1 minute left now. Oh, Kit, thank you very much.
Okay.
Fantastic. So how about we go on to a 10-minute portrait pose?
Well, he's a merchant, so you will have a ledger which he will be referring to see who owes him money and who doesn't.
Yeah,
so
that's
he's
right.
looking at I've got his ledger. I was thinking something like this, where he's looking at his ledger.
Yeah, okay.
Working out who owes him what.
Yeah, very good. Nice, Kit. Very good. Okay, so 10 minutes, everybody. Should be getting your hand nice and loose now. There shouldn't be any restraint or tightness in the movement of your hand. Don't forget that it's a good thing to just start drawing and not to worry about getting things in the right place at the first instance, okay? it's about gradually getting closer and closer to sort of representation of what it is you see and how you see it. That ledger's getting pretty close to your... There we are. Thank you very much, Kit. You're a very good bookkeeper. Do you want to lower that ledger a touch, Kit, there?
Lower it.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. There we go. Yeah, just because it's preventing us from seeing
Yes, yes.
your chinny chin chin. And I made it. She needs his chin. But you're not any particular. Well, you are a particular Medici, but you're Kit the Medici. So maybe there's something unique about Kit the Medici. Maybe he's got, I don't know. Maybe he's not the best banker, but he's a really good patron of the arts. Or maybe he knows a few jokes.
I know plenty jokes.
Yeah.
And I not tell you because you're very rude.
No, no rude jokes, thanks.
No rude jokes. I don't tell no rude jokes. I promise.
So we've had 4 minutes so far of Kit looking at his figures. And what I said about the nose applies more even in this pose. It also applies to the forehead. You might want a bit of tension around the cheekbone, especially at the dip, at the orbital, that beautiful edge of the eye socket, which we can see. And we want to have a sense of relief to the cheekbone, which is coming out. So that outline wants to be soft. And then the chin, you want to have a little bit of you want to have it quite clear where the center of the base of the chin is. So a little accent there, and you often see that in old master drawings. They always put in a little accent here and there where they want to draw the eye to important areas in the structure, so that the eye has a real feel for the rounded, three-dimensional form. It's like grammar, really. It's like adding in a bit of So adding a bit of grammar to just make things a bit more expressive of the form, varying your line at certain points. I've always found it useful to vary the pressure and to add an accent or a bit extra pressure on the line at a point of tension. So where there's some tension or where there's a point of transition. So for example, where the jaw comes away from the neck, there's a transition and it comes into the form. So a little accent there is very useful, just because it marks a significant change in the form and the impression that the form makes on the eye. It's all about empathizing with nature, and naturalism is a process where one develops, derives an image from nature, but it's more about empathizing with the way that it affects the eye and the senses rather than describing it in an objective way. So naturalism is a very subjective way, which where you're trying to sort of develop a vision of something which hinges on how the natural form affects the senses, rather than trying to render an objective image of the thing. Just 2.5 minutes left now, everybody. Might have a bit of time for some tone in this pose. Be selective where you put the tone. I've noticed, from looking at old masters basically every day for the last 20 years, I've noticed that they often put a bit of, if they're being selective with the tone, there's always a bit of tone under the eyebrow, and the eye itself is often in tone, and under the nose, and around the mouth, and under the chin. You don't need very much tone, and you don't want to be overly descriptive with tone in your sketching, because it can make the drawings appear labored. And the more you develop your ability to be selective, the more advanced you will become as a draftsman. This is a great pose, Kit. I must say, I love this. Kit the Medici. I've always wanted to meet a Medici. All right, everybody. So, Kit, thank you very, very much. So how about we go ahead and have a 20-minute pose before we take a short break? Shall we do that?
Yeah. Now, he'll be a Catholic, of course. So I was thinking about rosary.
Okay.
Like a rosary, and he's making his supplications to God. So it's very much looking piously towards heaven.
Yeah, and he's also a very, very keen admirer of pagan mythology as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He loves the Medici. Don't forget that Cosimo. Well, if you're modelling as Cosimo the Elder, his grandson Lorenzo. No, it was Cosimo. It was Cosimo de' Medici who was the first to establish the Platonic Academy. I was after 1439. In 1439, Cosimo de' Medici was petitioned by Marcellino Ficino to start a Platonic academy in Florence, and Plato was a pagan philosopher. So yeah, he's got real reverence for Platonic philosophy and that sort of thing. So there we are. But yeah, he is obviously a Catholic. But you know,
I think looking heavenwards.
Yeah, there we are. And he could be contemplating Zeus.
Yes, I mean very mystical and.
Yeah, mystical and ambiguous.
Visited.
There we are. Oh, what we ought to do next year, Kit, is have do a session where we do the Velasquez Pope Innocent X.
Yes.
We could do a Velasquez session, inspired portrait session with you. Because he's the best painter ever. Okay, so 20 minutes, everyone. You're going to be like that, okay, like that for 20 minutes, Kit?
Yes, certainly, yes.
Well, just let me know if you need to relax.
Okay, I should be okay.
Absolutely no need to feel any discomfort, Kit, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Tricky one because you've got your chin tilted up. So there is a wonderful Verrocchio drawing. Those of you who are been participating on some of my courses will know that there is that tricky, the young boy looking up by Andrea del Verrocchio. I think that was a homework assignment. That was indeed an early homework assignment for those of you who enrolled on the course that started in September. And it's a very, very tricky to catch a pose of somebody looking up. One tip that I really do recommend being one idea that I recommend observing is the relationship between the eyes. So look at the tear ducts. Look at the tear ducts, and you can see the left tear duct, and look at how that relates to the point of the nose. So if you imagine the end of the nose as a kind of a form, and you can summarize that form as a kind of, you know, in one little line, a little rounded shape. Look at how much lower the tear duct is to that general shape of the tip of the nose. Okay, so that should help you build your drawing. And if you look as well at the nose and then the mouth and the nose are going to be quite a lot closer to one another because of that foreshortening in the head. Okay, so the space between the features is diminished. That's a consequence of foreshortening. It's like in a musical term would be diminution. When you reduce the distance between notes, when you reduce the time between notes on a scale, that's when that becomes a diminished scale because there is diminution, and that's what foreshortening does. Foreshortening in figurative drawing or even architectural design, foreshortening causes diminution, and as things become more foreshortened, there is a greater degree of diminution between the features or attributes of the form that you're drawing. And if you look at the chin, for example, if you look at Kit's chin is actually higher than his left earlobe. Okay, so that's really valuable, and that is what that is. They are the articles of the face, which give a sense of the positioning of the head. They are what express the movement in the head. It's the relationship between these parts. So the brow, the nose, and the mouth, and the ears and the chin, they all give the eye a sense. They're the things that give the eye a clear sense of how Kit's head is actually tilting back. Okay, so I might start my drawing. If you're interested in Velasquez and how Velasquez learnt to draw, we do have a contemporary biography of Velasquez, which was written in the 17th century by Francesco Pacheco, who was Velasquez's teacher. He was his master. He was the painter in Seville, the most famous painter in Seville in the early 17th century, who Velasquez, the young Diego Velasquez, was apprenticed to. And Pacheco wasn't just a painter, he was also a historian and a theorist, and we know a lot about painting technique in the 17th century because of him. For example, the sort of ground layers that they would prime their canvases with. And Seville has a very distinctive clay, and that was the earth pigment that you can see in Velasquez's early paintings, because he used to paint on a nice dark earthy ground made of Seville clay from his own hometown. And we know that Pacheco really championed the use of this clay to prime your canvases for oil painting with because of its flexibility. And when you prime a canvas, you need that priming layer to be incredibly flexible, because canvases live a life, don't they? They get transported, and canvases are flexible support, unlike wood. So a wooden panel would traditionally be gessoed, whereas that's not really appropriate for painting on canvas because gesso is very brittle. So you need an oil-based ground. Although Titian and Giorgione and Bellini and Mantegna didn't use an oil-based ground for any of their paintings, except there is one Titian young boy with a little bird, very little Titian, which has an oil ground. But the rest are painted are primed with very, very, very fine layers of gesso, incredibly dilute, because they knew that it was incredibly brittle and therefore couldn't be applied to canvas as you would apply it normally to a panel. But with Pacheco and his biography of Velasquez, we know that Velasquez used to go out drawing people from life, drawing portraits of people, and he used to go out with paper tinted blue, with blue tinted paper, and would use black chalk to draw the portrait, and then would pick out highlights with white chalk. And those of you who haven't tried drawing on toned paper, it's a really good way to develop your sensitivity to tone. Teaches you a lot about economy, economy both of line and of hatching. Teaches you to see where to draw tone. I know what's going to happen now. I'm going to start, when I go back and read something about Florentine history or the history of art, and I'll be reminded of, I don't know, Giuliano or Piero de' Medici or Alessandro de' Medici. And I think, what was his relation to Kit Medici again? What was his? Where did Kit de' Medici? How was it? And then I remember that I actually know Kit de' Medici. In fact, I had a role in creating Kit de' Medici. I've got a portrait of Kit de' Medici myself, an original, and so is everyone else. We're literally drawing history today, everybody. We're actually drawing a Medici. The first Medici portrait in centuries.
Oh, John, I'm so worried about where you're located in the time-space continuum.
Where have you been? Are you late?
I was 1 minute late.
Ah,
Oh,
I was worried about you. I thought maybe Diana had been, I don't know,
Abducted.
or maybe just didn't want to draw Kit.
No, Kit's one of my favorites.
Oh, did you hear that, Kit?
I did. Thank you.
Yeah. Good.
But you're not very lucky because I can't draw for shit.
That's not fair, Diana. Because if you can't draw for shit, then I'm kind of partly responsible for that.
Oh, I mean, I'm a very good drawing person. Thanks
There
to
you
my
go.
illustrious professore.
Perhaps you could move your hands a little bit further away from your face, Kit, because
Yeah.
your thumb is obscuring
Yeah.
our view of your chin.
Yeah.
Your chin tonight, isn't it? It's your chin that's shy, isn't it, tonight? First it's the ledger, now it's your thumb. Okay, everybody, so I hope you're all enjoying this pose as much as I am. Keep your drawing implement sharp, whether that's a pencil or a charcoal, something. You can sharpen charcoal up with a knife just like you can a pencil, and I highly recommend you do that, because the sharper your implement is, the more control you have. And one thing that you can do is also rotate your drawing implement as you're drawing it, because when you're drawing, your pencil or whatever will flatten at the angle that it's at contact with the page. And then if you turn it, you then have a kind of like a kind of chisel edge. Okay, so that's how you keep your pencil sharp, but then you will have to sharpen it as it gets dull. So what are you contemplating there, Kit?
Infinity.
Contemplating infinity. Do you know Paolo Uccello apparently went to bed every night contemplating infinity?
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the first Florentine artists to really think carefully about perspective in the generation of people like Piero della Francesca and Lorenzo Ghiberti and Filippo Brunelleschi. And he used to get perspective. Well, some of his works in perspective are quite, well, they're more sort of international Gothic, like the Battle of San Romano. But his beautiful little interior of the there's a couple of beautiful little interiors where he does actually use a very, very, very plausible scheme of perspective. But yeah, he used to contemplate infinity. So it's funny that maybe Kit de' Medici knew him. Just got 6 minutes left now. And then we'll take a short break and we'll relax for a little bit, and we'll look at a few of each other's drawings. Give Kit a chance to have a little break. Must be hard holding portrait poses like that because all the pressure's on your neck. What's harder, life poses or portrait poses, Kit? Obviously, it depends on the pose, but
life definitely is more. Yeah.
You find life more demanding.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it's the whole body.
Yes, and very often you're in pain. Mm.
Oh well, hopefully not in my classes when you've modelled.
No, but I have. But I don't worry. I mean, that's the nature of what you're doing.
Yeah. Kit de Medici. I can't believe it. I can't help but feel that this is a kind of historic moment.
It is historic. It's the last Tuesday of 2020 that we will have this. What a historic time for me, especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been together every Tuesday since May.
Well, since September, but before September, well, I mean, I've been here. Well, the free classes started on the 18th of March, and I think I had 2 weeks off in June. But those 2 weeks I carried on with the courses that people were enrolled on, and the life drawing online.
I still connected on Tuesday, but no one was here.
Nah.
Gene and habit.
You okay there, Stephen?
Did you hear my sigh?
Yeah.
Sorry. I am a sire.
Are you a sire, are you?
I do sigh, yes.
You're a sire. Sire Stephen.
It's just because I'm concentrating.
Oh, I see. I breathe heavy when I concentrate. I guess sometimes when there's no background noise or anything like that, you can just hear my sort of heavy exhale, nasally breathing. Now, Kit, your eyes look funny then. Do that again.
Sorry, it was unintentional. Sorry.
No, but it was good. What did you do? You looked over to the other side.
Yeah, I looked at something. Sorry, I shouldn't go out of pose. Sorry.
Something
Sorry,
comedic
John.
about it. No. There's something comedic about it. Sorry. It's fine. Don't you worry, Kit.
Shouldn't go out.
When have I ever been upset with your...
Well, you shouldn't go out of pose. You should stay in pose.
Oh, it's fine.
I should stay in pose, I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's, yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, and you're a bit gassy tonight.
Sorry, I do apologise.
Don't worry, Kit. Kit the Medici. Just 1.5 minutes now, everybody, before we take a short break. And I hope you're all having fun and enjoying your drawing tonight. It's so, I really do feel like I'm drawing a real portrait, even though it's from a screen, and that is the biggest surprise I've had throughout these last few months. All these several months. That because I'd never drawn from a screen. I'd never ever even considered it, because I just thought that it was just not a kind of appropriate way. But I've completely changed my mind.
Not very Renaissance, John.
It's not really historically accurate, no.
Well, I guess they drew from mirrors. Would that be the closest thing they had, perhaps?
Yeah, but the image of a mirror isn't comprised of millions of pixels. Which
Oh, yeah,
But John, they had the thing that they looked through, camera obscura.
Do you know what? I think Hockney is. Sorry, Kit. I do beg your pardon. The timer just went off about 20. Look at you.
Oh, proud.
Well, you said he was probably an art collector.
Yeah.
Thinking this is a Dutch master. This is a Dutch master that he's just bought.
Well, he's
And
incredibly avant-garde Renaissance painter who's anticipated.
It's a Dutch master, isn't it? So he's admiring his purchase. He's admiring his purchase.
Very good. I love it. Okay. The only issue is that we can only see half your head.
Right. So there. There.
Yeah. Maybe you want to inspect your purchase.
Yes, I think he would be looking at the brushwork, wouldn't he? He'd be looking at the brushwork.
Yeah, analysing the quality.
He's a connoisseur. He's a connoisseur of art. So he would be looking at the detail, wouldn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
He's wondering how on earth a 15th century Florentine painter was able to produce something of such 17th century quality.
Yes, I know. It's a huge cheat. I know it's a cheat, but who cares?
Kit the Medici is a magician, everyone. Kit the Medici. Oh, I love Kit's brilliant.
He's very committed to his look.
How long
Fantastic.
is this?
Oh, it's great. It's a profile as well. This is perfect.
Yeah, very
Proper.
Rinascimento.
This is yeah, it is indeed. Oh, this is amazing, Kit. Well done. All right. So can we have half an hour?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. Kit de Medici. I find that incredibly funny. The whole 17th century thing.
The hat is such a good sense of the curve in there, but it's also, you don't need to worry about the length of the forehead. He's perfect any size in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that it's all red as well.
Yeah. Looks authentic, the finest.
Okay, so not only is Kit de Medici probably the first to really champion 17th century Dutch painting, he's also he really does like music from his own time, but music from his own time which came from England. Whoops, I shouldn't be doing the share screen. I should be doing the share music. Sorry about that. Be doing, where is my how do I, oh yeah, there we are. Computer sound. Okay, so I'll put on the beautiful lute music while Kit enjoys the brushworks. Okay, everybody. Well, wasn't that fun? I think Kit is one of the most. Well, he's just delightful, really, isn't he? And very good to draw, very charismatic, and yeah, he actually acted with John Hurt in 1984. Not in the year 1984, but when they actually both had roles in the movie, the black and white movie, which was obviously based on the great novel by George Orwell. And yeah, so he's wonderful. That was a wonderful session, and a big thank you to Theo for the editing and for adding in those lovely little bits there. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody, and we're going to sort of make a regular YouTube video out of recordings that we make from the free sessions. So, you know, I hope you look forward to seeing some more, and I'll see you all soon on Zoom. All right, all the best.